Hello, chocolatiers. Welcome back to another video. I know it's been video packed this week. I'm actually very glad about that. Views have been up, subscribers have been up, so I just want to thank you guys so much for that. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button so we can grow. Thank you. The proposal. If you get that reference, comment down below. So, House of Dragon Season 2. I was a little iffy when it first started, first couple episodes. Because the first episode of the last season got me hooked. Game of Thrones, I was never the biggest fan. I watched it, but it was one of those things where I more watched, kind of like Walking Dead, just to like get through the week, just something I watch, just because when people talk about it, it's like, hey, yeah, I saw it last episode. But I was never just crazy about it, so especially when people didn't like the last season of Game of Thrones, I was never, about to shit a brick over that. So, I digress, and here we are, House of Dragon. Season 1 I thought was fantastic. I think I gave it a 10 out of 10. I believe that show is one of the best depictions of fantasy that we've got in a while, especially from somebody like me that really likes fantasy and sci-fi, especially like in TV formats. I really thought it was great. And I thought it was great coming off a ride of very good TV shows. Star Wars shows were growing more and more. We got like kind of Mandalorian stuff like that. And then around that same time, we're getting Invincible and all kinds of crap. And so now here we are, Season 2, coming off the tailwind of Season 1 finale with the Vhagar scene. And I just kind of want to touch on my favorite episodes. So everybody's favorite episode, I think it's 5 or 6, probably 5. It's the dragon fight scene, and I would agree that's probably one of my favorite episodes, if not the episode with the assassination with the rat catchers. I really enjoyed that one a lot. So this season feels a lot more focused than last season, to where it's building. Last season was more kind of, hey, here's the plot, here's the story, here's the characters, we're setting up who's going where, what's doing what, just kind of let you know what's up. There was time skips, as you guys know. In this season is pretty much building up to a war that is happening. I believe it's called The Dance of Dragons. I might be wrong, I've never read the book, so I'm just a viewer. But from what I do know, is that it gets pretty epic, gets pretty cool. It's a lot of people's favorites if you have read the books, and so I'm very excited to see that. And usually I don't like a build-up of stuff unless it's something like, for example, like Avengers Infinity War, where it's like, hey, we built up to this time, whatever. But something like this show, it did it perfectly, I have to say. It sets up new characters, it builds upon old. I do wish there was more scenes with Daemon, and in particular him and what was, oh my god, I always forget it. Is it Rhaenyra? Yes, Rhaenyra. I always forget the main character. Yes, I forget. I'm so sorry. I'm an asshole like that. I was also behind on this show. I literally watched 3 episodes tonight to finish it because I didn't watch the last 2 weeks. And that's what I mean by like I'm a casual watcher. Last season, like I said, it hooked me. This season did not. So I wasn't, there at 8 o'clock every single Sunday. But just because it didn't hook me, though, doesn't mean it wasn't really good. It's just that I could already tell, and I was correct, that it is building to a war. So if you are going into the show brand new, just know that if you binge watch seasons 1 and 2, you're going to have to wait about 2 fucking years to see season 3 for some of this payoff. They are only going to do 4 seasons, which I do like that. I like that they're not going to milk it. They're not going to do anything stupid. I like that this show takes its time. The scale and scope of these dragons and the detail of this world needs its recognition. Like, it's one of the most beautifully shot shows I've seen in a while. I've seen some people comment about some CGI stuff, but for me, I never really noticed any problems. I really liked how, certain scenes without dragons, like where people are like looking over waterways or like, being in castles, how big these worlds feel. And I also like how small these people can feel in these big worlds. because they introduced 2 new characters who are of royal bloodline, but they're like low down on the line. They're like, second cousins, uncle, whatever, nephew. And I was really liking their storylines. And this is exactly what I mean. So I was telling a friend the other day how I didn't love the Last of Us Part 1 TV show, at least season 1, because as much as I love that game as an adaptation, now the show was fine, it's just as an adaptation I didn't love it because they skipped over so many cool things from the game that they could have showed, like the school set piece, or building upon extra character moments. Like I was hoping we might could have got some background on Joel, like maybe his wife to his daughter, some stuff like that. I was hoping they were going to build on that, but instead they would give us episodes with characters that really had no meaning, like the woman that was after Sam and Henry, for example. And in this show, I got a little scared of that because those 2 guys I told you about, I was like, oh man, I said, we're just kind of getting some side stories, whatever. And I'm fine with that in shows, but I don't like it when it shows 10 to 15 minutes, an episode or every other episode, this and that, especially for it to not culminate in anything. And this show had it pay off well in the finale. They have a scene with dragons that's very intense. And I really was liking what they were doing with that, what they're doing with these guys' characters, especially to see how 2 of them act when they do receive something that they want. How does a poor guy that's trying to help his family react versus a poor guy that pretty much always lies and cheats and does whatever he wants to get his way. And that's, like I said, that's a tail end. And I really also like the dynamic between Rhaenyra and Alicent. Alicent was cooking this season. A lot less than she was last season, but what I mean by cooking is like her character doesn't do a whole lot, of course, because she's kind of sidelined because, her son's doing what they're doing, but just the whole character of Alicent just kind of going on her path and journey, and just her, like the actress that plays her does such a good job. It's not only because she's hot, not because she's bad. Well, she is. She kind of dumb thick if you've seen in photos online. You know what I'm talking about. But back to the actual review. She's just always frames a scene. So like there's intense scenes with her and Rhaenyra, and scenes where I'm like, dude, she shouldn't be talking all this shit considering that her son killed her son, but she is, and she's holding her ground, and she believes in exactly what she says. And hell, I'm starting to believe some of it because I'm sitting there thinking, I was like, damn, this actress is good. Now you get the whole Team Black, Team Green thing that they were setting up. I really don't know how you could be just full one-sided of a team. For me, I'm full one-sided after I just made that comment on Team Black, but at the same time, there are people on Team Black that I have problems with, which is why I said you can't be full one-sided. But I still don't know how you could be fully on Team Green considering all the underhanded shit they've done and underhanded shit that they're going to do, because I've heard some stuff that apparently if they do in the books from here, that's going to get crazy. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about House of Dragon Season 2. I think it's very good. I really didn't have any major problems with it. I just wish that certain characters got some more time, but that's not really a complaint because if it is really accurate to the book, well, like I said, we'll get this payoffs in the next season or 2. So I'm not fully mad at that. It didn't do anything stupid like milking stuff. I like that they are closing out this story. They had a story to tell that they're telling. And even though this story was more set up, which I don't really love, but I also don't hate, as long as the payoff is well done, then this is a good setup. And so with that, I'm going to give House of Dragons Season 2 a 9 out of 10. It's very high up on the scale, even though it didn't hook me like it did last season. When I got to around episode 2, into episode 2, episode 3, it really hooked me. And it didn't hook me enough, like I said, where I was watching it week to week. But when I watched it, I always had a smile on my face. It's a very good show. It's one of HBO's best, and it's got the HBO charm and seal of approval. It's kind of like how whenever you watch something on HBO, it's going to be good. Kind of like whenever you play a Nintendo game. It's got that polish, it's got that seal of approval. And so with that, hope you guys like and subscribe for more, and comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on this season compared to last season. Did you love it more? Did you hate it? Did you not like it at all? And with that, I'll catch you guys on the next one.
The realm's only hope isn't a leader strong enough to unite them.